Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at Speak the Ocean by Rebecca Enzor. Um, I would basically classify this as like a reverse Little Mermaid tale. Eerie is a mermaid and she is a princess. Her father is king of the Seedom, and Finn is a landwalker or a human. And unlike Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Eerie wants to be where the people are not. She doesn't have gadgets and gizmos aplenty. She is not curious about the land world at all. She wants nothing to do with it. She absolutely agrees with Sebastian. It is better down where it's wetter. And, but the land people have discovered mermaids, and they just kind of call them mers. But they don't see them the way that we see the fictionalized mermaids. We see, like, if we were to meet Ariel, we would be like, oh yeah, she's totally half human, half fish. We would want to talk to her and all of that. These mermaids have noses like Voldemort, okay? They don't have, they're more fish-like than they are mermaid-like. They do have hair, but their hair is the color of the reefs. And there's one mer that is different from all the other mer, and that's Kale, the king's advisor. He has black hair. He's the only mer with black hair. No mer, according to Eerie, has black hair. And he has this weird little protrusion or bump in the middle of his face, which is his nose. But the land walkers, the humans, have discovered these mermaids, and because these the mermaids don't speak English, they speak the ocean, they see them as just making animal noises. So they see them as animals, and they start trapping them and bringing them into places like Oceanica, I think is what the place is called, but it's basically SeaWorld. And they start training the mer to perform in the same way that they would a seal or a dolphin. And they use pretty cruel means. They shock them into submission, basically. And when Eerie gets caught, Finn becomes her trainer, and he's determined to make her a star. But as he gets to know her, he decides to go a different route. Instead of shocking her into submission, he tries to, he finds out that at first she doesn't want to do anything. And there's no reason for him to shock her because she's just sitting at the bottom of her tank refusing to eat. And at one point he finds out he has Jen, his assistant, go and clean the tank, and the mermaid Eerie grabs her necklace and steals her necklace, and he realizes, oh, sea glass. She likes pretty things. She likes sea glass. Because that's what Jen's necklace is made of. It's made of sea glass. And so he buys her necklaces, and he starts working with her and realizing he doesn't have to shock her to get her to obey. He just has to be nice to her. And she starts learning what she calls air words. And as she's learning the air words, she's getting to know Finn and Jen a little bit more, and to the point where mermaids are very dangerous, to where they have very sharp fingernails and teeth, and they will absolutely rip a human to pieces. As he talks about, one mermaid has ripped one of the trainer's faces off. And but he is, unlike the other trainers, because he treats his mer respectfully, he allows her to speak. The other trainers don't allow their mer to speak. They don't allow them to touch each other. And they don't allow them to touch each other because they're afraid they're going to attack each other. Because that's exactly what happened with one of their mermaids, Potassium, only her name is actually Claire. But they call her Potassium because they name all the mer after periodic table elements. But Claire is just very angry about being a trapped performer. And one of the mermaids, I don't know what happened. It doesn't really explain too much in the beginning. You get to know Claire more as you get through the book. But in the beginning, you don't know what took place. Because Claire just absolutely kills another mer. And they're like, why did she kill the mer? And they just figure, well, it's because she's a dangerous creature and mermaids are territorial. But Claire has her reasons. But Claire is very angry anyway, to the point that even when Finn tries to free her, he attacks him. Even though she knows she's been told he's trying to free her. But she's just, the captivity and the brutal treatment that she has had at the hands of people like Finn, it doesn't matter that he's trying to free her. She's angry and she doesn't trust him. And she has no reason to. He has given her no reason to trust her because he doesn't work with her. He works with Eerie. Another trainer works with Claire. And so with Claire, she has a lot of trust issues, and she's very she will, like I said, she will attack humans without a second thought because she has learned that they are evil and that they cannot be trusted and they should not come near you. And but with Eerie, the only time she becomes curious about the humans is when she's in the tank and she has been captured and she's in the aquarium and everything, and she's curious about them enough to get herself free. She has no concern about the human world at all. All she wants is to go back home. And so her only goal is to get back home. So her curiosity of humans is, I don't want to be a part of your world. I want to go back to my world. I have never wanted to be a part of your world. So that's why I say that it's a kind of a reverse Little Mermaid, because the mermaid has no desire to be a part of the human world. But Finn is very much in tune with the ocean. He loves to swim. He loves being in the ocean. It's where he feels free. It's where he feels most himself. And it's Eerie points out that like Kale, the advisor with black hair, mermaid, Finn has black hair. So she's like, I'm not sure if I should trust you because you're a landwalker, but you kind of remind me of Kale, so I don't know. You know, like, she's iffy on Finn because she does remind her of the weird mermaid the odd mermaid out back home, but he is still a landwalker. But because he treats her kindly and he doesn't shock her and he doesn't threaten her, and he gives her gifts and he talks to her and he allows her to speak and allows her, when she's with her sister, because Claire is her sister, when he allows Claire and Huron to, Huron is another mermaid from her pod that was captured, when he allows them in the tank, he allows them to speak and he allows them to touch and just be together, you know, freely. And Claire, that's another part of Claire's issues, is there's also a part of her that is jealous. Like, why do you get the one land walker that lets you speak and touch your fellow tank inhabitants, but I get shocked every time I so much as whisper, and I can't touch anyone. I can't have any interaction with someone. I have to wait until all the trainers are gone before I can speak or do anything, and that's not fair to me. You know, and so there's, I think part of her anger towards Finn is not just a distrust, but a, why weren't you my trainer? Why couldn't you train me? Why couldn't you be the one to be my trainer and let me speak and let me touch my tank mates and let me have a social life and like let this crap life that you've trapped me into be at least bearable. And when at first Eerie is very reluctant to tell him about the sedum and about home, because she doesn't want him to find the other mermaids. She doesn't want him to find her home and capture more of her people. But as she gets to trusting him and learns that his intentions are pure and he really does want to get her back to the ocean, she starts to trust him more. And so she starts opening up about where home is and what it's like there. And one of the things that Finn runs into is he has to make he's making promises. And at one point he realizes he's going to have to break a promise to someone. He makes a promise to Eerie: I will get you and Nico, the dolphin that got caught with her, back to the ocean. Nico is... The mermaids have dolphins that act as guards, and Nico is Eerie's personal guard. And he tells her, I promise you, I will get you and Nico back to the ocean. I promise you. And he also promises his friend Sergio, whose aunt runs the whole aquatic center, I will not get this place shut down. I will protect us. But then he soon realizes that he's going to have to break a promise to one of them. Because the only way to get people to stop hunting the mermaids is for people to see the mermaids not as wild animals, but as human-like things that deserve the same kind of mutual respect as a regular walking human. They need to be protected. But the only way he can do that is to get Eerie to perform and to get people to see her for what she really is. And his concern is, this is going to go one of two ways. Either she's going to be so popular that there is no way in the world Aunt D, who, like I said, Sergio's Aunt D is the owner of this aquarium center. And he calls her Aunt D because Sergio's his best friend. They've been best friends since they were, like, in school. So he's like, either I make her... When I get her in front of people and I make her popular, it's going to go one of two ways. Either one, she is going to be so popular and be so profitable that Aunt D will never let her go, because why would you take your $1 million maker and just let it go? That's not business smart. Or I'm going to make her so popular that she's going to go viral and people are going to realize just how absolutely cruel this is, and the entire arena is going to get shut down. And so he's going to end up breaking a promise to someone. And the question is, who gets let down? And it's not so much that once he starts training Eerie and getting her to perform in front of people, it's not really his choice of which promise gets broken. It's just going to be one of them is going to get broken by default of his actions. And fortunately, it does work out that Eerie is able to go home, and because of the information she is able to get from living with the land folks, she is able to use that information to better educate her own people. But she is not able to be released with Nico, and she is, there's a point where she is very saddened that she's like, I'm grateful that I'm free, but my sister and my guard are still trapped, and I don't know what to do about that. How do I get them free? And, you know, it has a really cool ending, an ending that I kind of saw coming, and I was like, there's gotta be a way, because, like, she mentions, she and Finn are sitting there talking about the differences in their world, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, she's talking about some old folk tales that she'd heard, and he's talking about the tales that she's learning from Disney, how they're bigger than reality. He's trying to explain to her that the stories aren't true, they're just fictional stories, and what does a fictional story mean? And the best way he can explain it to her is it's bigger than truth, it's bigger than reality. And she's like, oh yeah, we have stories like that. And she starts talking about different stories. And from the moment that you kind of really get to know Finn and his, like, his personal, chapter 2 or 3, I think it's chapter 3, yeah, where he's recovering from a mermaid attack, you start to think, like, oh man, if there was a way. And then as you get to know Eerie, you're like, is it possible that there's a way? And then as you go through, you're like, you start feeling like there has to be a way. You know, and I'm not going to explain what I mean is a way to do what. Read the book. It's absolutely engaging. I enjoyed it a lot. Definitely another, what do they call it? I just talked about this in the video I did for Mr. Darcy's Complex Courtship. A reading slump. That's what it was. This is definitely a slump buster as well. I could have probably busted my reading slump with this just as well as I could have Mr. Darcy. Because, again, I like I said, I enjoyed it. It has a touch of fantasy in the fact that there are mermaids available, and in the that mermaids are a norm. But other than that, it's very realistic. It's what do they call that? It's like a not a modern retelling. It's like magical realism or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the story a lot. I enjoyed the way that she talks about she doesn't mark time the way Finn does. He talks about days and weeks and months and years, and she's like, I don't know what those words mean. And even when he tries to explain the measurements of time, it still makes no sense to her. She has a different type of calendar using shells, and how the shells are laid out and how they're marked, and that was really interesting. It's like, it's one of those points where I can really appreciate the writer's imagination, because as she's explaining how her calendar works, your thought process is, yeah, of course that's how it works. Why wouldn't their calendar look like that? But as a writer, you can also appreciate that the imagination that had to, the logic and the thought process and the the creation of this mermaid calendar and how they would tell time and the passing of different cycles. Like, it's obvious as she's explaining it, but you know that she still had to create, like, that wasn't something that was already established. I have not seen a calendar system like hers in any other books, and maybe I just haven't read enough books, but I haven't seen a calendar system like that. So it's something that Rebecca Enzor absolutely had to create, and for her to create it in a way that makes it like, well, of course, obviously that's how they're going to tell their calendar times, and that's how they're going to work their calendar, that's how their calendar system works. It just speaks to her ability as a writer, and I am so excited to see what else comes from her. I don't know, does it say who did the it doesn't say who did the artwork of the cover. She may have said it in the I don't. Yeah, I don't see that where even, because sometimes they'll say in the acknowledgments, but okay, Kate Greer made the cover. To Kate Greer, who made the most amazing cover, I can't believe you took my Just No Mermaid Tales and made such a gorgeous cover of it, out of it. Yeah, there are no, I don't know how well you can see it, but there are no mermaid tails on this at all. And then even when you go to the sides and the back, there's jellyfish. There's seashells in the corner. But yeah, it is a really beautiful cover. Excuse you. And it's a really beautiful cover. I really like it. This is one of those that I would pick this up if I saw it on a bookshelf just for the cover alone. So I don't know what else to say about this without giving away spoilers. So I'm gonna call it done here. But as usual, I will leave a link in the description below, and definitely get your own copy. This, if you like mermaid tales, and like I said, it's a reverse Little Mermaid. I enjoyed it, and I think she did a really good job with sticking with reality and being realistic with her characters. They definitely felt real to me. So that's all for today. I will see you next time, and the next one we're reading is, I'm finally getting around to Sarah Madeline's A Foul Match. I've been trying to get around to this one for a while, mainly because there's chickens, and I have chickens, and I like my chickens. So, I will see you guys all next time when we are talking about A Foul Match. Until then, bye!